Yo, what's up, guys? This is Coach Mr. E. We absolutely love bringing you the best call center training videos, and we also know that you love watching and learning from these videos. So take a moment to like, click, and subscribe to get the latest notifications on new call center training videos. Now, watch this video that's up next. So, in English, we have three kinds of treatments. We have treatments for men and boys of all ages, little boys, young boys, teenagers, grown-ups, men. For men, we have the treatment Mr. and Sir. For women, we have two treatments. We have Mrs. and Ma'am for older women or women that are married. And we have Miss and Miss for younger women or women that are not married. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to our class for today. I'm your coach, Mr. Montenegro, but call me Mr. E. My friends and students call me Mr. E. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's class. I hope that you enjoy it. Today we'll talk about treatments. Treatments. Good evening, Miss. Good evening, ma'am. Welcome, sir. You're welcome, ma'am. My pleasure, sir. How can I help you, miss? Is there anything else I can do for you, sir? These are called treatments in English. And today we're going to learn the rules, applications, and also we're going to have a conversation for dialogue. Let's begin with the general understanding of what are treatments. So in English, we have three kinds of treatments. We have treatments for men and boys of all ages, little boys, young boys, teenagers, grown-ups, men. For men, we have the treatment Mr. and Sir. For women, we have two treatments. We have Mrs. and Ma'am for older women or women that are married. And we have Miss and Miss for younger women or women that are not married. These are the treatments that we use, okay? Now, let's take a look at an example here of these people. Here we have Carlos Santos. This is Monica de Santos. Obviously, she's married to him. And Jessica Garcia. Perhaps somebody else. Okay, she's a young girl. Now, let's check out how to use the treatments. So when we talk about our names, we have a first name. Here we have Carlos, and the last name Santos. But sometimes we like to be called differently. So call me Charlie. So Carlos likes to be called Charlie. Okay. Now, how do we use the treatments? Wow. Here's the rule. To use Mr., Mrs., and Miss, we're going to use Mr. plus the last name for men and boys. Mrs. plus the last name for married women. Miss plus the last name for unmarried women and girls. So here with Mr., we'll say Mr. Santos, not Mr. Charlie, not Mr. Carlos. For women, we'll say Mrs. De Santos, Mrs. De Santos, not Mrs. Monica. For young ladies, we'll say Miss Garcia, not Miss Jessica, Miss Garcia, because we have to use last names always. Okay, that's the rule. And we use Mr., Mrs., and Miss. Mr. is MR period. Period. But we say Mr. We say Mr. Here, we say Mrs. We write MRS period. And here, MS period is Miss. We say Miss, but we write the abbreviation, okay? Now for Sir, Ma'am, and Miss. Sir is for men, to treat men at the end of your statement, like, thank you, sir, referring me to Mr. Carlos. Thank you. You're welcome, sir. I don't say Sir Carlos, just sir. How can I help you, sir? Hi, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. I don't say good evening, ma'am Monica. Just ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Are you ready to order, ma'am? With miss, the same thing. Good evening, miss. How are you, miss? How can I help you, miss? I don't say Miss Jessica, just miss at the end, okay? Here is a conversation that we can use to talk about treatments. Let's take a look at it right now. Okay, back to the conversation. Now that you understand the rules, let's take a look at a little conversation between person A and person B. Person A is a man, person B is a woman. Let's take a look. Good evening. I'm Carlos Santos, but call me Charlie. I'm sorry, sir. Can you repeat your last name? Yes, ma'am. It's Santos. Thank you, sir. You're welcome, ma'am. What's your last name or what's your name? It's Miriam Montenegro, but call me Mrs. Montenegro. Nice to meet you, Mrs. Montenegro. Likewise, Charlie. Oh, okay. So they're treating each other. They're using treatments with respect in the conversation. Okay. Now let's observe a little bit more, a little bit closer, the dialogue. Good evening. I'm Carlos Santos. So full name. Good evening. I'm Carlos Santos. But call me Charlie. So not Mr. Santos. No, not Mr. Santos, not Carlos. He prefers Charlie. He likes Charlie. That's why he says, call me. Person B says, I'm sorry, sir, because sir is referring to Carlos Santos. I'm sorry, sir. Can you repeat your last name? Yes, ma'am, because person A is a woman. Yes, ma'am. And she's probably older. It's Santos. She says, thank you, sir, referring to Mr. Carlos Santos. Sir Carlos Santos. You're welcome, ma'am, referring to the woman. What's your name? It's Miriam Montenegro, but call me Mrs. Montenegro. So this is the husband's name, married name, Mrs. Montenegro, please. Nice to meet you, Mrs. Montenegro. Why? Because now Charlie knows that every time she speaks to this woman, she treats this woman with the Mrs. title, Mrs. Montenegro. The Mrs. Montenegro responds by saying, likewise, which is the same to you. Nice to meet you. The same to you. Likewise. Charlie. Why Charlie? Because he said here, call me Charlie, not Mr. Santos, Charlie. Okay? So now you have the treatments. Remember to use them correctly, especially if you're living in the United States, or if you're going to talk to customers, or if you're just going to treat with clients or people in general. So good luck, sirs, ma'ams, Mrs., and practice. Number one, opening. Thank you for calling Amazon customer service. This is Carlos. How may I help you today? Two, empathy. Hi, Mr. Customer. I can relate to what you're saying about your package, and I'm very sorry to hear you haven't received it yet. Assurance. Please understand that you're my priority at this moment, and you're talking to a tracking expert here at Amazon. I can definitely verify on my end the status of your verification. Can I please have your order number, please? Thank you. Would you please go next step? Okay. Hold procedure. Mr. Customer, I need to work on my system for a couple of moments. Can I place you on hold for 2 minutes while I work on the system? Yes? Thank you so much, sir. Okay, Mr. Customer, as my system information shows, the package was delivered on 12/1. Okay, Mr. Customer, just to be on the same page, you will receive your package tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. through UPS. Once again, my name is Rocky Balboa. Thank you very much for choosing Amazon. Have a wonderful day, a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. Blessing to everybody at the family. See ya. Bye-bye.